Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm actually really happy to have a chance to stand up on 29.2A and speak to Bill 32. I'd like to commend the Minister of Labour for bringing this bill. You know, I've heard a lot from the other side, criticism towards this Bill 32. Even a comment from the member from Edmonton South saying that this bill or this government is dangerous for working people. And I'd actually contest that the most dangerous thing for working people in Alberta is an NDP government. And I'll tell you why. The Minister of Transportation even spoke to the fact that over there they may have a couple lawyers, and I think they do. What I think is apparent is they don't have any employers. And they have no idea the impacts of what happened when they were in government. And I'll tell you, as they listen to this and they churn on my words right now, recognize the reason I stand here today is because of what the previous government did in their term. My anger because of what happened, their policies, and what I had to do as an employer is why I stand here today. Over a decade, I spent building my company. And even through tough times, right up into 2008, hedge fund financial collapse, during those times, we were awarded Fast Growth 50, Profit 100. We built, grew from 3 employees to over 56. But then 2015, an NDP government. In a matter of less than 3 years, devastating impacts to businesses, carbon tax, occupational health and safety changes, and changes to labor standards that put me in a position where I sat across a desk and laid off over 30 employees because I had no choice. It was a choice between saving the company and the employees I could, and to do that, I had to lay off employees. So let's talk about a little bit about the balance that is going to happen when we get Bill 32 through, because that's exactly what's going to happen. What they don't want to talk to over there is certain things like construction. The many different things that have to happen in construction, and even with that, you talk about averaging and banking of hours. I used to have employees that used to come to me. They knew the ebbs and flows of construction. They knew they had to, as many say, make hay when the sun shines. So they used to come to me and they used to say, you know what, I want to work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. I just want to bank my hours. I don't need the overtime. Now, in construction, what maybe the NDP doesn't understand is we're in contracts tied in for multiple years at a time. We do not bid overtime because it's our job as a project manager to make sure they happen on time and we deliver the project and that we make sure we do it without increased costs. So that means keeping overtime down. Now, because of the policies that came in and these averaging, banking of hour changes, I had to say no. Yet I was forced to say no. So what happens? Employees see a decrease in income. Now, maybe there should have been a consideration on that side. Actually, maybe they should have consulted with some business owners. Because in Calgary, I was one of the larger, not the biggest, but one of the larger HVAC companies. And you know what? The funny part is I'm connected to that entire community. Calgary, probably the smallest big city in Canada. You know what's funny? Not one construction company was consulted. Not one. And through this, in a matter of 3 years, I saw the steepest decline and the highest costs in construction and the highest layoffs. The most restrictions that we had to put onto our employers, cutting back their hours, limiting their banking of hours, averaging agreements were out. And you know what the funny part is? I had employees come to me for averaging agreements so they could actually minimize their child care cost. Wow. Couldn't even do that anymore. And this is the reality. So when they stand over there and they talk about that this doesn't bring back balance, this does bring back balance. This brings the balance needed to get our economy and business back working.